just a couple of minutes. There's a messy divorce, a celebrity divorce that's seemingly taking place right now. And with that, we are joined by our premier divorce attorney, Jarrod Oxendine, the oxlawfirm.com, 770-497-8688 to talk about that. Jarrod, thanks for coming on. How you doing today?
Good afternoon, Nick. Doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure. It's not a pleasure right now what Carmelo Anthony and Lala Vasquez are going through. A celebrity divorce, a lot of money on both sides.
Yeah, both of these folks are celebrities. They have significant assets. They also share a child, so it would be very easy for that divorce to get complicated and get ugly fast. But by all accounts, they're completely amicable, and apparently they're proceeding with the divorce in a cordial fashion. And what that goes to show you is that in divorce, it's really all about the mentality and the attitude. You know, these parties have plenty to fight over. They have the resources to fund a full-on custody battle, but they've chosen to keep it cool and keep those resources in the family. And so what I want your viewers to know, you know, if you're going through a divorce situation or thinking about it, Oxendine Law offers many options for amicable resolutions in divorce. We can work to preserve the assets. We can preserve the family relationship. Divorce does not have to be ugly. Now, if you do have an ugly divorce, we can certainly handle those too, but there are options to try and do an amicable divorce if you can keep your emotions cool.
Jarrod is not afraid to roll up his sleeves and fight for you. oxlawfirm.com, 770-497-8688. Might be a dumb question, but I'm really good at asking dumb questions. Is it more challenging when you don't have assets or more than enough assets like these two do?
You know, really, it doesn't matter. It's all about your attitude and your emotions. I've seen people that have nothing to fight over, but they fight anyway because they can't get over the emotional hump. They just want to be miserable to be miserable, you know, so good luck with that. But, you know, divorces that have lots of assets certainly should take longer because there's more work that needs to be done. There's more discovery that needs to be done. We might need to do valuation to see what assets are worth. But I have cases where people just want to fight the fight. So, you know, everybody's different strokes for different folks, right?
That is very true, Jarrod. If these things that are being reported are true, that he might have a side set of twins, he stepped in it before. If you stepped in it once, is it better to fall on the sword if you step in it the second time?
Well, if you have some twins on the side, that means you've been having a relationship on the side. So that all comes down to, you know, what your spouse knows and what they don't know, to be honest with you. So, you know, the rule of thumb here is if you have an affair and your spouse finds out about it and they forgive you, and under Georgia law, forgiveness is defined as sexual relations. So if you resume that type of contact with your spouse knowing they had an affair, you cannot later use that against them in the divorce process. If they don't know about it and they find out about it, they can use that to try and get a larger percentage of the assets.
Jarrod, their son, Kyan Anthony, he's 14 years of age, and I'm assuming both Carmelo and Lala wants his custody. How difficult will it be to settle in on that, just asking and interviewing the kid who he wants to be with and finding out a safe spot for him to be in?
So 14 years old is a magic number in Georgia. So if you're a child and you're 14 years of age, you can actually make an election on which parent you would prefer to live with primarily. And the law in Georgia says once that child makes that election, it's presumed that the child will live with a selected parent unless the other parent that's not selected can show that the selected parent is not fit or it would not be in that child's best interest. So these children, when they get 14 and older, they have a lot of power in divorce cases. I do plenty of cases where my client comes in and they're thinking they're going to get custody, and all of a sudden a wild card gets thrown in the mix because we have this, you know, mysterious affidavit that shows up from one of the children that says, hey, I actually want to live with the other party. And then so sometimes we have to dig into that and make sure that that affidavit was given voluntarily and that the other parent has not forced them into signing that affidavit. So 14 and older can make a big difference in divorce cases.
All right, Jarrod, someone's thinking about divorce. What do they need to do? How do they contact you?
Just give us a ring on the phone, 770-497-8688, or the website, oxlawfirm.com. You can schedule a free consultation with me personally. We'll be happy to help.
A free consultation. If you're thinking about separating, thinking about divorcing, call